Hello and welcome back, friends, to Plot Hole Productions. I'm Chris Sambrook, and this is the Comic Drop, where we here at Plot Hole Productions keep you, the viewers, updated and informed on what's brand new, what's hitting the shelves soon, and what's worth keeping an eye on. So, let's get started. We're going to start off today with Marvel's Voices, the Spider-Verse, #1. In this issue, we have an all-new selection of interdimensional adventures for some of Marvel's freshest and finest creators, each bringing their own unique perspectives and stylings to the web of life and destiny. What new spiders will find their way into the Marvel multiverse? Well, there's Spider-Friend, of course, with the first appearance of a Spider-Man from a sitcom universe. First full appearance of Recluse, previously appeared as a fan-submitted concept character, and the first appearance of a female Kraven, coming from an alternate universe. There will be a 1 in 50 variant cover for this issue. Also from Marvel, we have Guardians of the Galaxy #1. A year ago, the Guardians of the Galaxy were destroyed. Their optimistic future shattered by the betrayal of one of their own. Now they ride the space lanes of a lawless corner of the galaxy, trying to outrun their tragedy. This issue will see the introduction of Grootfall, a mysterious and ominous phenomenon. A 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in 100, and an Alex Ross variant cover will be available. And lastly, for Marvel, we have Star Wars Return of the Jedi Ewoks #1. That's right, guys. Ewoks, coming from the moon of Endor. A group of these stout creatures have gathered around a fire to recount tales of triumph, defeat, and horror. In an art-forward manner of storytelling, watch an eclectic group of artists interpret the stories from the unique minds of the Ewoks, in a manner only they can envision. This is a can't-miss issue for Star Wars fans of mirth, merriment, and artistry. A 1 in 25, 1 in 100, and a Peach Momoko variant cover will be available. Next up, coming out of DC, we have Batman Incorporated #7. No one is safe as Professor Pig continues his warpath across Gotham. Meanwhile, Ghostmaker has the worst Gotham has to offer in his grasp and must decide whether to keep his promise to Bruce or end their reign of terror for good. Can Batman Incorporated find Pig in time to save the city? Will Ghostmaker fall back into his old ways? Guest starring Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and more of Gotham's finest. And if that weren't enough, the road to Joker Incorporated begins here. This will see the first cameo appearance of Dusty Bronco, a member of Joker Incorporated. A 1 in 25 variant cover will be available. Next up for DC, we have Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House #1. The Corinthian has been turned loose on our realm once more, and this time he sets his sights on the very root of rapacious American capitalism, Silicon Valley. His relentless pursuit of the smiling man will carve a bloody path from the C-suite of profit capital to the bowels of the demonic nightclub, and no one will be safe from his reach. This issue is written by none other than James Tynion IV. A 1 in 25, 1 in 50, and 1 in 100 variant covers will be available. Other releases this week, coming from Dark Horse, we have The Great British Bump Off #1. When she enters her country's most beloved baking competition, Shauna Wickle's goal is to delight the judges, charm the nation, and make a few friends along the way. But when a fellow contestant is poisoned, it falls to her to apprehend the culprit while avoiding premature elimination from the UK bakery tent, and being the killer's next victim. On to Image Comics now, we have The Giant Cockjew #1. That's right, I didn't mispronounce kaiju. It is, in fact, the giant cockjew with all innuendos accounted for. The despicable Deadpool team reunites to give the world the giant monster attack story that movies and TV are too squeamish to show. This is a tale of woe about a monster with physical needs. It needs a restroom. It needs food, too. And, most unfortunately, it needs sexual satisfaction. The only thing standing in its way are the men and women of science. They're proudly flying that M rating for violence, mild gore, sexual situations, nudity, dudity, turds, comedy, drama, and some very tasteful swearing. Expect the mature rating going hard for this one. Also coming out of Image Comics, we have 8 Billion Genies, number 8. The miniseries finale is here. The monumental ode to worldwide wish fulfillment completes its story with the exploration of the first 800 years after the moment 8 billion genies appeared on Earth. We'll see how the last remaining wishes get used and discover the fates of the characters we met at Lampwick Tavern all that time ago. IDW is releasing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Where When number 1. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pursue the evil cyborg genius Dr. Werwen through a time portal and emerge in feudal Japan. There they encounter Usagi Yojimbo, 20 years into the samurai's future, but decades after the arrival of Dr. Werwen, who has already carved himself a fiefdom using mechanized clockwork samurai robots, of course, and with the intention of conquering both the past and the current timelines. A 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in 100 variant covers will be available. And I have to say, that Sarah Meyer cover is fire. And naturally, there's a classic Kevin Eastman variant or two. And from Boom Studios, we have Seasons Have Teeth number 1. A retired conflict photographer lives in grief after an unthinkable tragedy. But everything shifts when the seasons arrive, each one a godlike creature, who he tracks down to capture the perfect picture in hopes of redemption. A 1 in 10 and 1 in 25 variant covers will be available. Out of Mad Cave, we have Exorcists Never Die, number 1. This 6-issue series sees Sid Miller and Ellen Blair, the world's 2 premier combat exorcists. The only problem? After a nuclear breakup years ago, they can't stand each other. But when the biggest soul auction in history kicks off beneath Los Angeles, Sid and Ellen have no choice but to come together to raid the Hellscraper, an infernal tower going straight down into the earth. With thousands of souls on the line, Sid and Ellen must fight their way to the bottom or die trying. From Scout Comics, there's All the Devils Are Here, number 1. This is an emotional story about a dementia patient possessed by a powerful demon and the exorcist who must venture into his mind, travel through an ever-changing landscape while being forced to confront his own traumatic past. And finally, coming out of Fair Square Comics, we have Blood, Love, Ghosts, and Deadly Spells, number 1. A dark, atmospheric, 64-page volume filled with horrific tales. This book contains 4 never-seen-before self-contained horror short stories and an illustrated poem that will terrify, unsettle, and astonish. And that's all we have time for. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't already, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? We know you want to. And then drop a comment down below. Let us know what you're reading this week. Once again, my name's Chris Sambrook, and we'll catch you in the void.